My name is Bea Fenton, and I'm presenting We Are Equal, an analysis of the speech We Shall Overcome, presented to Congress by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. Racism has been around for centuries, and on March 15, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson delivers a speech to Congress proposing equal voting rights for African Americans. African Americans were known as Negroes at this time, and although they were free, they were not yet considered equal. In President Johnson's speech, he effectively uses alliteration, allusion, and emotional appeal to successfully persuade Congress to pass his bill. In his opening statement of his speech, he uses alliteration to signify unity when he addresses the audience by saying, "I speak tonight for the dignity of man and for the destiny of democracy." By using impactful words and words that begin with the same sounds, the audience is more apt to remember what is being said, according to Stephen Lucas, author of The Art of Public Speaking. Johnson then continues with the technique of alliteration further in his speech when he says to the audience, "There is no Negro problem, there is no Southern problem, there is no Northern problem, there is no American problem. There is only an American problem." Here again, he is identifying unity by making this into an American problem, our problem. Lastly, he uses the technique of alliteration when he states further in his speech, "We must preserve, we must have a right, and we must protect that right." Here he signifies unity by taking away separation and addressing the nation as a whole. That every citizen is entitled to this right. Another rhetorical technique that Johnson uses is allusion to signify freedom by referring to historical events so that the nation can correlate its significance. He states, "Man's unending search for freedom, so it was at Lexington and Concord, and so it was a century ago at Appomattox, and so it was here again last week in Selma." He makes an allusion to the Constitution that every American has sworn an oath to uphold, which states that no person shall be kept from voting. Here he is bringing about the effect of guilt because even though every citizen has taken this oath, not all can say that they are living up to it. He then proceeds to the allusion of President Lincoln and the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 and what that meant to America at that time. The signing happened during the Civil War, and many Americans identify this time with slavery because this is when President Lincoln declared all slaves to be free. Johnson continues his rhetoric skill by using emotional appeal to define what America stands for, and that is freedom. He defines that America stands for freedom by stating that this was the first nation in the history of the world to be founded with a purpose. The great phrase of that purpose is still sound in every American heart, North and South. All men are created equal. Johnson continues with emotional appeal when he states, "Those words are a promise to every citizen that he shall share in the dignity of man. It cannot be found in his possessions, it cannot be found in his power, nor in his position. It really rests on his right to be treated as a man equal in opportunity of all others." Another powerful example of emotional appeal is when he states, "The history of this country is the expansion of their rights to all of our citizens, is to be able to choose their own leaders. Every citizen must have an equal right to vote." President Lyndon B. Johnson displayed his incredible rhetoric skill in the speech We Shall Overcome, which he delivered to Congress on March 15, 1965, during a time of great racial tension. By using the rhetorical techniques of alliteration, allusion, and emotional appeal, he effectively delivers a moving speech that helped America overcome inequality so that every citizen, regardless of race, is entitled to the life promised under the Constitution. This speech had an eye-opening impact on me because although from history lessons and readings I was aware of this part of our history, this made me take a closer look at those times and all the work our ancestors did so that we have a life free of racism. We as Americans need to revert back to the intentions of our ancestors and get back to what makes America great. Remember, we are all equal, we are all free, and we all have the right to vote.